So we're currently sailing down to Kastos Island. This is one of the other places that we went on our honeymoon, and the last place that we want to revisit, so to speak. Last time we went there's a Windmill cocktail bar, and we had one cocktail there after dinner and wanted another, but they didn't take didn't take cards, and there were no cash machines on the island. But we are hoping to go back there for that second cocktail at the Windmill bar. This is Intrepid Bear, a 40-foot sailboat off to explore the world with her crew Ian and Kate.
Come aboard and let's see what's out there.
We've got wind coming sort of out of the south, and we're sailing very close haul, but it's coming round all the time. It's actually meant to be coming out of the west. So I'm watching the telltales, and the outer one, which is the one on the outside of the sail, keeps lifting, which means I either need to ease the sail or I can come closer to the wind. And I want to get closer to the wind because we're skimming the end of Meganissi Island at the moment. So every time it allows me to come closer to the wind, I will do. And then hopefully we'll clear the end of Meganissi and we can have a good run down the bottom of Kalymnos Island round to Kastos. So we've been tacking down towards Kastos. We wanted to go to the west of Kalymnos, down the southwestern tip and round to Kastos, but the wind wasn't having any of it. It was coming straight out of the south as opposed to the north where it was supposed to go. So now we are heading towards the north side of Kalymnos, and we'll see what we do when we get there. We'll see what the wind's doing. We might anchor off Kalymnos for tonight, or we might motor around the back and down to Kastos. Suddenly got 16-17 knots of wind, heeling right over. It just goes from 0 to blowing quite a bit all of a sudden in the Ionian. So what I'll go to do when we come around this point, it's more westerly now. When we get around the point of Kalymnos, it could be pretty breezy because it's blowing quite hard up here. So I'm going to drop a double reef into the main. So I'm going to bring it down 2 slabs on its reefing system before we go around the corner. So first I've got to get Kate to ease the main sheet. Can you ease the main, baby? Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Okay, stop there. To reef the mainsail, the first thing I do is I let down the halyard, and I've already got a mark on the halyard for I'm going to the second reef. So I've got a mark that shows the second reefing point, so I drop it down to there. The sail comes down, and then I hook on the rings onto this staghorn. Then I pull in the reefing line on the bottom of the sail that pulls the back end of the sail out to its reefed position, and that basically ties the bottom of the sail down. So not the easiest thing to film whilst doing, but the back edge of the sail has been pulled down by the red rope, and the front end of the sail is hooked down by the cringle onto the bullhorn. And that's it, the sail is reefed, so you can see it doesn't go all the way to the top of the mast anymore. And that basically gives us a smaller surface area, so the wind doesn't affect the sail or hit the sail as hard, and when it gets really strong we can get closer to the wind and do more things. Right, I'm going to do auto tack
Okay,
to port. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I'll tell you when to pull.
Yeah.
Okay, start pulling. So we tacked from 300 to 147. What's that? I don't know, more practice required. So after much tacking, we weren't making very good tacking angles. We only seemed to be tacking for about 150 degrees. Or 30 degrees more and that would be 180 degrees, so we'd just be tacking backwards and forwards and not going anywhere. So got to look into that. We'll do some proper tacking experiments on a calmer day when we're not trying to get somewhere. But it's 5 to 6 now. We're approaching Kastos Island, it's just over there. We're going to look at anchorages down the side. We were going to go into the harbour, but as it's like 6 o'clock, nearly dinner time, to get in the harbour, got to take the dinghy off, put it alongside, get the lines out, all that sort of thing. Whereas if we can find an anchorage, in, dropped, dinner on, sorted.
So we've anchored now off Kastos Island. We didn't go into harbour because decided it was late in the evening and probably still busy. We'll be busy in the harbour now. Yeah, so we're going to spend the night at anchor and then maybe go into harbour tomorrow. But just check out where we are, how beautiful it is. Just us.
So it's not going to be very far, it's only 2 miles to the harbour. When we get there, we're going to be stern to the quay with anchor. So you will be dropping the anchor, and when I say drop, if you just bang out 30 metres, which is green, and then as soon as that 30 metres is out, come aft and get ready to take lines ashore. So we had a little chat about what we're going to do when we get to the harbour, pre-briefing if you want to call it that. It's only a couple of miles, we cast off, weighed anchor. We're just heading down to Kastos Harbour in search of the missing cocktail. Okay, drop!
I don't know how tight you mean.
That's right, yeah, a little bit more. A little bit more. A little bit more. Perfect. So I'm going to go for a quick snorkel. Our chain's going off that way, and his chain's going off that way. The two sort of intersect. We're probably clear at the end of his chain, but I just want to have a look because they're leaving in the morning. And if our chains are crossed, then we'll need to be here just to take the slack off our anchor line so they can get their anchor up, because we'll be over the top of them. So we'll have a little swim in a minute.
So we're not out having cocktails this evening because we checked the weather and it's thunder and lightning and rain this evening. That's the first rain we've seen in probably since Montenegro. There's another flash, so should be thunder any minute. Now.
So it's 10 to 7 in the morning. The sun's literally just come up. Cicadas haven't even started yet. It's just so quiet and peaceful. It's also nice and cool. We love the heat, but if you want to go for a walk, you've got to get up at this time of day. So we woke up at 6, had a cup of tea and breakfast, and we're going to head out and have a little explore over the island to the other side before it gets too hot. It's going to be another lovely day, and don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining about the heat, but walking wise, you've got to do it early in the morning or in the evening. So we'll get ready and we'll head on out.
Google Maps of this island is where to go for a walk and a park.
For you. So that's the boat next to us left. What I did is I started the engine, I put our boat into gear. So we're driving forward, so if I needed to, I could have just slacked away the chain, dropped it down, and then if their anchor was underneath ours, they could have pulled up our chain and then tipped their anchor upside down, and our chain would have fallen off, and that would have been fine. Then I could have just pulled the anchor back up. But if I'm driving forward, then it just holds against those stern lines, and they would have fine. But as it happened, it was quite clear, and they came out quite safely, so all good, and we can relax again. So we just had a couple of pints in Traverso Bar in Kastos before we go for dinner, and they do now take cards.
I know.
After COVID mainly.
Oh, it's a good thing, but it's like the future's catching up with Kastos.
Well, the prices have caught up with Kastos already, haven't they?
True.
They're certainly not that cheap. Anyway, do you want to tell people what's happened to your arm?
So yes, you can see I was trying to make a cup of coffee and boiling the kettle and tidying in the galley and all sorts of just normal stuff. I leant around the kettle as the kettle was boiling and burnt my arm on steam, which normally wouldn't bother me, but skin peeled off straight away, so it was a bit ouchy.
Yeah, but we're still out, we're still going for dinner.
And I'm going to have some cocktails to help keep the pain under control.
Yeah, cocktails will help with pain control, so yeah, well, good think that, yeah. So yeah, so that's why Kate's arm is bandaged. And let's go find some dinner. One thing that was clear is that the seafood in Kastos was really fresh.
How long do you, how long?
6 times and then you can You must do this to be more soft.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello.
Kalispera.
Kalispera.
You have two, please.
Of course. You can see it everywhere. If you want here.
What would you recommend? A fish I've not tried
You want a
before.
fish for two?
No, for one.
Only for you.
He's a black.
Black bream, I think, unless it was a mushy. If you don't give me a bone. Anyway, let's go and get that second cocktail after 5 years.
Yeah.
It's a bit breezy, same as it was last time we were here,
Yeah.
but this time we can afford cocktails. Silhouetted against the sunset. So I think we can call that mission accomplished, which brings us to the end of this episode. Thank you for watching and we'll see you next time.